You know, the first time to see that 100 low lead actually ignite and those engines start to turn under their own chemical power of fuel burning again, it's really cool. It gives you just a great perspective of a culmination of thousands and thousands of man hours and a tremendous effort on a lot of people's parts to bring this airplane back to life. And it really is, it's life. You know, this airplane isn't a corpse in a museum. It is now a living, breathing entity. It has a soul. And to hear it run and to see the engines do what they do and to smell it, it's very, very special. This B-25 is an H model. It was built in Englewood, California in the 1943-1944 time frame. But the airplane has been part of the EAA collection since the early 1980s. And it has flown on and off throughout the early times within EAA, but it was not a flyer on a regular basis like our B-17. During the last 4 years and 4 months, a massive effort has been undertaken by dozens of volunteers and many EAA chapters to bring this airplane back to its full glory as it appeared in the movie Catch-22 in 1970, and flyable as a full airworthy restoration.
The project started off as kind of a, let's improve the airplane, make it look better for the museum. And the farther we got into it, the more excited people got about what was being done to the airplane. And we started working towards flying status on the aircraft. And then that really entailed really getting into restoring a lot of the stuff and putting equipment in it to make it tourable. Rebuilding the nose on the airplane, all new avionics in the flight deck. It's all brand new, pretty much state-of-the-art stuff going in the flight deck. Adding seating throughout the airplane for passengers, a complete new paint job, all new fabric work done on all the control surfaces. The wings were off, all the attach fittings were inspected and x-rayed and eddy current inspected, and gears been out of it, rebuilt, put back together. Motors, propellers, all the accessories have all been redone again. So it's been a pretty thorough going through out of an airplane that sat in the museum for 20 years.
The goal of the EA's restoration of this B-25 was to return it to flight status and then get it out on tour so that it can share its story and it can tell this current generation the wonderful aspects of what it did and what that generation did in World War II. It flew in every theater during World War II, and perhaps is most notable as the iconic airplane that Doolittle chose to make his historic raid on Tokyo in April of 1942. There's no question that flying this airplane and getting it airborne again and sharing it out on the road will inspire thousands of people. It tells a story that only EAA can tell in this very special way. And you can't get that from reading a book. You can't get that from watching a program on television. And it's important to keep those memories alive, as well as tell the story of EAA, which is a passionate group of people that believe in aviation and believe in restoring history and carrying on the legacy of our past generations. We're very proud of the fact that the first flight of this airplane took place on an approximation of the anniversary of the original Doolittle raid in 1942. So to be able to fly EA's B-25, honestly, as that airplane rotated off the runway and climbed out, it was a monumental moment.
It's a great relief to see the airplane flying again. Everything's working well. We're really happy with the product, and it should do real well out on tour. I hope people come out and see it.
To see the airplane from that perspective, sitting in the seat with Stu Dawson right next to me, it's something I'll remember the rest of my life. It's significant for the stories that it can tell. It's significant for the long-term health and viability of the future of this airplane. And it's wonderful to see another airplane achieve that status and start that new journey of being out on the road and sharing the mission of EAA.